Now on CoastTV News.
Scrutiny after suspension. The controversy swirling around the Lewis Fire Department with the resignation of its fire chief.
Rental rule vote.
It's like they want to turn it into a gated community for people that didn't sign on for that.
That is some of the sentiment in Ocean City ahead of today's special election.
Seaford marijuana moves, how weed businesses could see a boost there with a change to city code.
The pleasant weather continues for Delmarva with temperatures a bit below average and comfortable humidity levels, but the heat and humidity return at the end of the week. Forecast details coming up.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And we are in our 6 o'clock hour now. Good morning. I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. It is Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025.
And we're winding down July. I'm still making my way through my college football preview magazine.
Almost that time.
I got that beach read. It's good stuff.
Almost that beautiful time of the year. We saw NFL preseason starts next Thursday.
Next week.
The Browns play August 8th, so we have a little time of peace left. Maybe peace, maybe not peace. But we're going to bring in someone who we know loves football and I'm sure is excited. Maybe excited to watch your Jets play, Bob. I don't know. Is that mixed emotions? Probably how we feel.
We have more summer to enjoy. How about that? Good morning, Elisa and Matt. Yeah, we can, well, I can worry about football here in about a month or so, but we have plenty of more summer to go. We're looking at comfortable conditions out the door this morning. 65 in Salisbury and Willard, 69 in Georgetown, 74 in Lewis, 72 in Rehoboth. Bethany beats 73. Dew point temperatures are lower than they have been, of course, for the past couple of weeks, been in the low to mid 70s this time of morning, but they're in the low to mid 60s, so it is a little drier as we have a northeasterly flow around high pressure well to the north. We have clear skies now, but there are a few showers offshore. There is a weak disturbance out here in the ocean, and some of these showers might try to get close to the coast as we go into this afternoon, but it's only an isolated shower chance. Otherwise, it's high pressure in charge, and that'll keep us pretty quiet here for the next couple of days, as we'll see temperatures rising through the 70s this morning, mid-morning, upper 70s. By noon, we're into the mid-80s, perhaps inland around Salisbury, 83 in Millsboro, maybe a stray shower, 70s and 80s otherwise looking pretty good, and mid-afternoon 82 to 84, some 70s at the coast as we go into the evening hours. Mowing forecast, I think we're in pretty good shape as we go through today right through the end of the week.
Thank you, Bob. And our top story this hour is the resignation and suspension for the now former Lewis Fire Chief Bill Buckaloo.
Buckaloo has been suspended from the Lewis Fire Department after allegedly making what's only being called a derogatory comment.
Yeah, a department spokesperson says Buckaloo resigned from his position after they became aware of a comment he made in a public setting. There's no official word on what exactly that comment was.
And in a press release, the Lewis Fire Department said, quote, "The department recognizes that Mr. Buckaloo's behavior is disconcerting and respects all points of view. His comments run counter to the department's beliefs and values of serving our entire community." The department says Buckaloo is suspended pending the outcome of a full investigation.
And this isn't the first time Chief Buckaloo had a suspension for derogatory comments. If you go back to 2020, while he was an assistant chief, he was suspended for using a homophobic slur online. Recent months, this department has come under scrutiny for another incident. It's where a member used a racist slur on the radio channel during an emergency.
Happening today in Ocean City, a special election for a controversial rental rule. Earlier this year, Town Council passed stricter rules on rentals in certain residential areas of the town. The ordinance requires a 5-night minimum stay for 2025 and 2026, with that number minimum becoming 31 days in 2027. But a petition opposing this ordinance successfully gathered more than 1,000 signatures, triggering a special election to potentially override that ordinance.
It's like they want to turn it into a gated community for people that didn't sign on for that. The people bought these homes with the expectation, excluding Mallard Island, that they would be able to rent.
There's a wide variety of properties for our visitors to choose from. If we don't do this now, I'm very afraid we're going to look back 10 years from now as our R1 areas are totally going away as far as year-round residents.
And that election is set for today from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Convention Center in Ocean City. And this is now going to bring us to our CoastTV poll. We want to know, how should Ocean City regulate short-term rentals in neighborhoods?
Yeah, so far the voting is breaking down. You can see it on your screen. 45% say relax those limits, 27% say keep five-night rule, 25% ban it by 2027. A couple of you are voting in as a case-by-case scenario. And if you haven't voted yet, you can still do so at coasttvnews.com or on our mobile app. New this morning, grant request, land use. That's the focus at today's Sussex County Council meeting. It is expected the council will review a conditional use ordinance for an area of land in Frankfort. It's for a storage building and car wash. There's also a grant request for the Bridgeville Police Department's Back to School Bash, also for the Delaware Botanic Gardens, and roof repairs at Ocean View's Historic Village.
An update to a story we brought to you last month. Delaware State Police say they have arrested the third person they say was involved in a shooting near the Slaughter Beach Fire Company. The area right here on your screen is where State Police say a party was going on at the pavilion behind the fire company on June 12th. They say the three suspects opened fire on attendees around 7 p.m. A 32-year-old Dover man was shot but has since been released from the hospital. All suspects have now been arrested and face charges including assault and reckless endangering.
And we're now getting a live look at Washington, D.C. President Trump today meeting with another world leader as his battles also continue on the domestic front. Lawmakers, they're pushing to release the full Epstein files.
As NBC's Alice Barr shows us, that controversy along with a new report questioning the effects of the spending in the president's big, beautiful bill.
President Trump today meeting with the president of the Philippines, expected to talk trade 10 days out from sweeping reciprocal tariffs set to hit trading partners around the world. The Treasury Secretary saying the administration is not rushing trade negotiations.
We are more concerned with high quality deals than getting these deals done by August 1st.
As U.S. businesses brace for the impact of higher import taxes and weigh passing costs on to consumers, a new report from the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office projecting the president's One Big Beautiful Bill Act will add $3.4 trillion to the national debt, with spending and lost revenue from extended tax cuts far outstripping cuts to programs like Medicaid, expected to cost 10 million Americans their health insurance.
Republicans' signature bill is the ultimate betrayal of the American people.
Republicans emphasizing the law's provisions like no tax on tips as leadership tries to brush off efforts led by House Republican Thomas Massie to force a vote on releasing the full files about notorious sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
There is no daylight between the House Republicans, the House, and the president on maximum transparency.
The House Speaker arguing to give the administration space, with the White House underscoring President Trump's request to unseal grand jury testimony and for the DOJ and FBI to release any other credible evidence, seeking to push past a lingering controversy still dividing the MAGA base. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
New this morning, marijuana businesses could get a boost in Seaford. According to the agenda for today's City Council meeting, officials will hear a first reading of a possible change to City Code that would allow the sale of the drug. However, city leaders will also consider changing the fee and rate schedule to increase the retail marijuana business license fee. These topics and others go in front of city leaders tonight at 7 p.m.
Tonight in Lewis, continued work on a grant request for the Bicycle and Pedestrian Committee. The committee will discuss. It could also choose a project that focuses on the Cycling Infrastructure Innovation Grant. Officials say details are due to Delaware Bicycle Council on August 31st. The committee is meeting today at 5:30 p.m.
And we're just getting started this morning on Coast TV News Today.
Yeah, coming up on Coast TV News Today in just a couple of minutes, while Boardwalk Biking reviews rule, why some Ocean City officials think the town should extend the hours allowed for this activity.
Also, Delmarva deals with blood emergency, how blood banks across the peninsula are calling on the community for help.
And police install bike lights, what you need to know about an event offering free safety upgrades in Ocean View. All that and more as Coast TV News Today continues.
Just about 6:11 on our Tuesday morning. Brightening skies on the Bay Health Cam in Dover right now, 67 degrees. Even cooler farther inland, 64 in Laurel, 66 in Millsboro, so some comfortable sleeping weather. A little milder at the beaches, low 70s from Ocean City up to Lewis. A little breezier at the coast too with the northeast wind, but they're calm inland areas. As we're looking at clear skies, there are a few showers offshore that might try to sneak onto the coast a little bit later this afternoon, but I think that's an outside chance. Otherwise, we have high pressure, and that is driving in drier air. Bethany Beach, your boardwalk forecast looking good. Looking at temperatures in the 70s this morning with an east-northeast breeze. Lower 80s this afternoon with an outside chance of a shower a little bit later on.
Thank you, Bob. Happening today, if your bike needs lights, the Ocean View Police Department is ready to help. The agency will host its annual bicycle safety checkpoint. Officers say they'll be offering free safety upgrades. This includes lights that police will help install. The event takes place from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. in front of the Taylor Bank on Atlantic Avenue.
And if you can't make it to that event today, Bethany Beach is hosting a similar one on Thursday. The police department says bicycles will get free front and rear light installation. DelDOT will also offer basic maintenance along with the Bethany Pedestrian and Bicycle Safety Committee. And that event runs from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. on July 24th.
Assigned seats for passengers on Southwest Airlines will start January 27th. The airline first announced this change last summer, going to assigned seating for the first time in the low-fare airline's history. The ability to get certain seats will depend on the fare. Purchase options will include standard, preferred, and extra legroom. Tickets for assigned seats can be purchased beginning next week.
Microsoft has issued an alert about active attacks on its server software. The affected SharePoint servers are used by businesses and government agencies to share files. Microsoft recommends customers disconnect their servers from the internet until they can apply new security updates. The company said cloud-based SharePoint Online and Microsoft 365 was not affected.
Beautiful start to the day in Lewis and elsewhere. Irish Eyes Cam looking nice and calm on the canal in Lewis, 73 degrees. And we're looking at pleasant weather continuing the next couple of days. Temperatures a little bit below average and comfortable humidity levels. Then the heat and humidity, they're back by the end of the week. Your forecast details in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Time is 6:15 and you were looking live at Delaware's capital city of Dover. Bob, I was in Dover for NASCAR weekend and we had to deal with some rain both Saturday and Sunday. Sounds like we're about to hit a dry stretch of weather, though.
It looks that way, Matt, and it's not a bad thing in a way because we are looking at a surplus of rain across the region. Here's Georgetown for the month, 3.24 above average, and then for the year, we're looking at a surplus of over 4.5 inches. So we are going to get a dry stretch this week. So probably do have to start watering probably Wednesday and beyond. And we're looking at comfortable temperatures out the door this morning, 65 in Salisbury, 65 in Gumboro, 66 in Millsboro, 73 Ocean City, and 73 in Lewis. And dew point temperatures are lower than they have been. Remember, we had low to mid 70 dew points. Now, well, slightly drier air has built in with calm winds, a little bit of a breeze along the coast out of the northeast as we're looking at clear skies. But there's one little fly in the ointment. There are a few little showers offshore, and it's possible some of those could try to sneak on the coast a little bit later on. But all in all, I think we're looking pretty good with high pressure to the north, and that's bringing in the nice weather. The temperature's a little bit below average, some lower humidity, and keeping all the heat and humidity at bay for a while, but that will change as we'll see more of the humidity coming back later in the week. But it is drier with a lower humidity and pretty comfortable for late July. Here's Futurecast this morning, 60s and low 70s, mid to upper 70s mid-morning with a northeasterly breeze. By noon, I think it's 70s and 80s at the beaches, around 82 in Lewis by noon, 83 in Millsboro and Delmar, and by mid-afternoon, low to mid 80s. So temperatures a little bit below average and looking great into the evening. Once again, can't rule out a stray shower. Otherwise, mostly clear overnight. Looks like some showers looming offshore tomorrow. Some of those might try to push on shore. Just a slight chance for a shower. Otherwise, we're into the 70s and lower 80s as we go into the afternoon hours, and 70s at the beaches as the winds become more southeast, and that's going to bring in more humidity. On the muggy meter, we're in the humid range as we go through the next couple of days. Dew points in the mid 60s, so that's almost comfortable. comfortable, not too bad, but then we're back into the very humid to miserable range by the end of the week. As a wind shift to the southwest, it gets hot by Friday, and then we head into the weekend, and I think we're increasing the clouds and also a chance of showers and storms, I think, later Saturday and into Sunday as a front will pretty much stall over the top of us, and that could bring some heavier rain as we go into Sunday. In the meantime, Friday feeling like close to 100 inland areas and low to mid-90s at the coast. 85 in Harrington today if you're headed to the fair, 84 in Millsboro, Cambridge and Vienna, 85, and Crisfield, 85 with Ocean City at 82. Paul, they have a 7-day forecast, a couple more comfortable mornings into the mid to upper 60s, 84 Wednesday, upper 80s Thursday, 94 Friday. And the humidity coming back feeling like 100, and some storms into the weekend. Later Saturday, 93, more widespread storms Sunday, 89, and lingering showers Monday, and a high of 88.
All right, thank you, Bob. A blood emergency. It's been declared on Delmarva. That means the blood supply has fallen below a 2-day inventory. The blood bank of Delmarva is asking for community help. This week marks the first time the Salisbury Blood Bank is open again, and after closing its doors in February, donors said it was tougher to donate with that location closed.
I was upset, especially when nobody seemed to know why, and we didn't get any clear answers as to why they were closing it. And we just had to wonder, okay, so Salisbury is the lonely redheaded stepchild of Delmarva, and we don't get to have a blood bank anymore.
Now, right now, the Salisbury location is open Mondays and Tuesdays. The plan is to extend the hours once resources improve.
A new academic program at Salisbury University is opening doors for future scientists. The university is launching the biochemistry and molecular biology major. According to officials, the major prepares students for careers in life sciences, pharmaceutical and genetic research, and biotech. It includes hands-on experience in labs, plus opportunities for internships and research. Officials say it will prepare students for that certification exam.
Sidewalk upgrades coming to a Salisbury intersection in an effort to improve accessibility. According to the city, sidewalks at the intersection of Milford Street and South Division Street are closed until tomorrow. That's July 23rd. This is so crews can improve the area to meet ADA standards.
Up next on Coast TV News today, boardwalk biking rules will tell you how some Ocean City officials say possibly changing the allowed hours would impact J1 visa students. Don't go anywhere. In Ocean City, council members are considering changing boardwalk biking rules. The town's Biking and Pedestrian Advisory Committee is looking to extend the hours in which biking on the boardwalk is allowed. The current rules state that biking is only permitted from 2 a.m. to noon, and the committee is looking to change this rule from midnight to noon instead.
You have a lot of J1 students that get off work at midnight, and this would allow them to ride their bikes home on the boardwalk rather than holding off until 2 a.m.
And the new rule doesn't take effect immediately. The town council will need to review that change again in the future. And less humidity means it's going to be a nice day to be outside, be at the beach. You don't have to deal with that thick air.
I know. It'll be nice. Those vacationing here this week.
Yeah.
Today is shaping up as a really nice one up and down our coast, Bob.
Yeah, really not all that bad. The air will be a little thicker at the beach just because you're right next to the ocean and not as thick inland. But Chincoteague and Assateague, I think you're up near 80 degrees this afternoon. UV index is extreme, so watch for that. Make sure you have the sunscreen. Rip current threat is low. Farther up the beach, Fenwick Island, close to 80 for you, and upper 70s in Ocean City. An outside chance of a shower a little bit later today, but about a 20% chance. Waves around 1 to 2 feet. And on the bay side, the next 3 days, we're in the mid 80s the next couple days in Cambridge, upper 80s on Thursday, and mid 80s for Crisfield with a mix of sun and clouds the next few days.
And after the break on Coast TV News today, Sussex County grant request will tell you what projects officials will consider today.
Also, the Lewis Fire Chief resigning after what the department is calling a derogatory comment. We'll tell you what took place before that decision.
And rental rule refusal over 1,000 signatures in Ocean City has led to action against a new rental regulation. Coast TV News today will be right back.
Now on Coast TV News.
Fire Chief controversy. What we know about the situation in Lewis involving the resignation of that department's top official.
short-term showdown.
I'm very afraid we're going to look back 10 years from now as our R1 areas are totally going away.
The big debate on Ocean City rentals heading to the ballot box today.
MLK records release. The action by President Trump and members of the family of the civil rights leader over documents related to the 1968 assassination.
The pleasant weather continues for Delmarva with temperatures a bit below average and comfortable humidity levels, but the heat and humidity returns at the end of the week. Forecast details coming up.
This is Coast TV News Today.
July 22nd, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
And we're about to hit 628 on this Tuesday morning. Delaware State Fair continuing today. And I saw one of the scheduled events, horseshoe contest.
I was not always the best at that. I was better at, what is it called?
Cornhole?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Much better at, which I feel like cornhole is actually harder. Yeah. I don't know. Well, it depends.
For both, I go hit and miss. I'm either on fire or I'm a complete disaster. Bob, do with that information as you will.
Yeah, I like skee ball. I don't know if they still have skee ball, but I like that at the fair. Horseshoes is always a little tricky, and the weather should be really nice in Harrington as we head through the day. Right now, Harrington's at 61 degrees. On the cool side, there's 69 in Georgetown. Millsboro, 66. So it's the coolest we've seen in some time. 72 in Dagsboro, 73 in Lewis. Bethany beats 73. And we're looking at dew point temperatures that have been the lowest we've seen in some time. They've been in the 70s recently. Now they're in the 60s, a little cooler and drier air as we're seeing a little bit of a breeze at the coast right now. And we're seeing quiet conditions across Delmarva. A few little showers offshore. Some of those might try to sneak closer to the coast as we go into later today. A little disturbance here, but I think that's just a slight chance. Otherwise, we have high pressure, and we're looking at cooler and slightly drier air building in as we're seeing temperatures warming through the 70s by mid-morning, close to 80, low 80s by noon, and we can't rule out maybe an isolated shower into the afternoon. Otherwise, 70s and 80s at the coast with low to mid 80s inland areas and looking pretty nice as we go into the evening hours. Drivecast, I gave you the green light for the morning and evening commute, dry and pleasant this morning, and then warm and pretty comfortable as we go through the afternoon and evening.
Thank you, Bob. Our top story this half hour is in Ocean City, where there is a special election for a controversial rental rule. Earlier this year, the town council passed some strict rules on certain residential areas in the town. The ordinance requires a 5-night minimum stay for 2025 and 2026, with that minimum becoming 31 days in 2027. But a petition opposing this ordinance successfully gathered more than 1,000 signatures, triggering a special election to potentially override that ordinance. That special election is set for today from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Convention Center in Ocean City.
Yeah, we have a developing situation taking place in Lewis. It's where the now former fire chief Bill Buckaloo was suspended. Now it appears that he has resigned.
Buckaloo has been suspended from the Lewis Fire Department after allegedly making what's only being called a derogatory comment.
A department spokesperson says Buckaloo resigned from his position after the department became aware of a comment he made in a public setting. There's no official word on what exactly that comment was.
And in a press release, the Lewis Fire Department said, quote, "The department recognizes that Mr. Buckaloo's behavior is disconcerting and respects all points of view. His comment runs counter to the department's beliefs and values of serving our entire community." The department says Buckaloo is suspended pending the outcome of a full investigation.
And this isn't the first time Chief Buckaloo was suspended for derogatory comments. If you go back to 2020, that's when he was an assistant chief. He was suspended for using a homophobic slur online. In recent months, the department has come under scrutiny for another incident. It's where a member used a racist slur on their radio channel during an emergency.
We have an update to a story we brought to you last month. Delaware State Police say they have arrested the third person they say was involved in a shooting near the Slaughter Beach Fire Company. The area on your screen is where Delaware State Police say a party was going on at the pavilion behind the fire company on June 12th. They say 3 suspects opened fire on attendees around 7 p.m. and a 32-year-old man from Dover was shot. He has since been released from the hospital. All suspects have now been arrested and face charges including assault and reckless endangering.
New this morning in Sussex County, grant requests and land use taking center stage at a council meeting. The Sussex County Council will discuss a conditional use ordinance for an area of land in Frankfort. This is for a storage building and a car wash. Council members will also review grant requests for the Bridgeville Police Department's Back to School Bash, the Delaware Botanic Gardens, and roof repairs in Ocean View's historic village.
New this morning, if you walk, bike, or use a wheelchair to get around, Maryland wants to hear from you. The Department of Transportation is asking people to take part in an online survey aimed at improving road safety. The survey is a part of the state's update to its Vulnerable Road User Assessment, which looks at the needs of people most at risk in a crash. It is now open until August 7th and allows users to give feedback and suggest improvements that could include better sidewalks, safer bike lanes, and more accessible routes. And in order to access that survey, you can go to coasttvnews.com.
Now looking live at Washington, D.C. on this Tuesday morning, some Republicans are teaming up with Democrats to try to override the will of House Speaker Mike Johnson. They're demanding the swift release of all unclassified documents and communications related to accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. That's after a much-hyped disclosure from the Attorney General provided little new information.
As Amy Kiley shows us, Johnson says he'd prefer to give the Trump administration more time to disclose what he calls credible files.
When the Speaker stands in the way of justice and transparency, this is how we get justice.
An effort to force a House vote on releasing more Epstein files appears able to succeed. It would let lawmakers decide whether to give the Trump administration 30 days to disclose unclassified materials. The discharge petition is from Republican Representative Thomas Massie and Democratic Representative Ro Khanna. It would need 218 signatures, and Democrats could supply all but 6.
What are they hiding from the American people? Release the files.
Enough House Republicans say they'd back the measure to get it over the finish line. Many face pressure from their base.
They don't want things covered up, especially when it comes to the most well-known convicted pedophile in modern day history.
Files are going to have to come out.
I think sunlight's good medicine.
The petition has to wait until after the 5-week August recess due to procedural requirements. House Speaker Mike Johnson could bring a related, non-binding resolution to the floor this week, but he says he won't, arguing the president is taking steps already.
He's asked the Attorney General to request the grand jury files of the court. We need the administration to have the space to do what it is doing, and if further congressional action is necessary or appropriate, then we'll look at that.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
The Trump administration has released thousands of records relating to the 1968 assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. despite his family's opposition. The release involves more than 240,000 pages of records that have been under a court-imposed seal since 1977. King's family, including his 2 living children, Martin Luther King III and Bernice King, were given advance notice of the release and had their own teams reviewing the records ahead of the public disclosure. It's still unclear whether the documents will shed any new light on the tragedy.
So a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, Camden project progress, why DelDOT says the bypass project is worth the expected delays.
Also, win or go home. We look ahead as Del Mar's Little League softball team plays an elimination game this afternoon at the Mid-Atlantic Region Tournament.
In Millville Park Projects, one town committee could recommend to a council after a discussion set to take place today. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
6:38, beautiful sunrise on Laurel and Tyndall's Casual Furniture Camp. 65 degrees, comfortable inland areas into the mid-60s, a little milder at the beaches with temperatures in the low 70s. No wind away from the coast, a little bit of a breeze at the beaches, and we're looking at quiet conditions. A few sprinkles offshore. There's a little disturbance out here in the ocean. That could try to push an isolated shower in here later today. Otherwise, I think we're looking at sunshine and a slightly cooler regime with lower humidity with high pressure building in from the north. If you're out golfing today, looking really good. Make sure you have plenty of water with you. We're looking at warm conditions and not as humid with a high of 84 degrees. And our umbrella giveaway winner today is Selena Brown from Berlin, Maryland. Congratulations to her from Paul Davis and Coast TV.
Thank you, Bob. New this morning, the Delaware Division of the Arts is announcing the newest DE 250 grant recipients. Officials say that grant was awarded to places such as historic sites and nonprofit organizations in preparation for the nation's 250th birthday. Of the organizations awarded, these include the Lewis Musical History through Jazz and the Rehoboth Art League.
Bringing bocce to Millville. That's what's on the agenda for today's Park Plan Committee meeting. Officials will discuss the status of the construction for a bocce ball court. Also on the agenda, a recommendation to Town Council for the border design of the pickleball courts. The committee will review these topics in just a few hours at 10 a.m.
Free Narcan training is back in Sussex County, according to the Delaware Department of Health and Social Services. There are 2 locations for people to attend this week. In Millsboro, people can head to Potnet's Bayside. Officials say a Milton location will be announced, and the free training event will take place July 26th at noon.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Everything is on the line for Del Mar Little League softball. The group representing Team Maryland is back in action today, but still took the diamond yesterday. The team had an off day after falling in their first game of the tournament 7-0 against Pennsylvania. The team held a practice yesterday in preparation for their game today at 1 p.m. If they win, then their journey will continue, but a loss would end the season. After Delaware's win yesterday, Maryland knows it will face off against New Jersey in the matchup. We spoke to Del Mar catcher Lucy Thomas and pitcher Rowan Preston about what they want to improve on before the next game.
We need to just pick ourselves up, and we need to start seeing the ball when we're hitting it and watching and waiting for the ball and waiting for strikes that we can rip. To lock in and win the game and just hit the ball and play softball how we know how to play.
Really good at bats and to be really good in the field.
Just really our infield and outfield and our hitting.
Make sure to download the DSN app and subscribe to DSN Plus to follow along with all of our softball coverage. That'll do it for sports. Have a great day, everyone.
And coming up tonight on DSN at 7, we have the Delmarva Shorebirds taking on the Lynchburg Hillcats. That's at Purdue Stadium. Then catch the final score at 10:30. Little League Softball Mid-Atlantic Regional Tournament, as you saw, is happening this week. The Delmarva Sports Network is in Bristol covering Maryland's Delmar team and Delaware's Camden, Wyoming squad. This is brought to you by Preston Automotive, and we have live updates on the DSN app, website, and social media.
Actor Malcolm Jamal Warner, who starred as Theo on The Cosby Show, has passed away. Authorities in Costa Rica say Warner drowned on Sunday. Warner appeared on The Cosby Show for 8 seasons from 1984 until the early 90s as Bill Cosby's fictional son, Theo. The actor eventually became the director of shows including The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and All That. Malcolm Jamal Warner was only 54. In entertainment news now, including the latest on a beloved streaming show making a comeback. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
I think we all have Ted Lasso in us,
Production is underway on Ted Lasso Season 4. Executive producer and star Jason Sudeikis is back, along with Jeremy Swift, Hannah Waddingham, and Juno Temple. Apple TV released this first look photo and says Season 4 will feature Ted returning to Richmond to coach a women's football team, an idea teased in the Season 3 finale.
Man, it feels really gratifying.
Adria Arjona has a new leading role. Variety reports the Andor and Hitman actress is set to star opposite Michael B. Jordan in a reimagining of the romantic heist film The Thomas Crown Affair. Production is underway in London with a planned release date of March 5th, 2027.
How do you spend your summers?
Normally in a big white tent in a field.
Crank up the ovens for the Great American Baking Show Celebrity Summer. Yara Shahidi, Jesse Tyler Ferguson, Andrew Rannells, and June Diane Raphael try to impress Paul and Prue with their summer treats. The special premieres on the Roku channel August 16th. Saving room for dessert in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
If you're having a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up right now for free at coasttv.com and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday. And here's what you can look forward to this afternoon on Coast Life at 4 p.m.
Hope you're having a good Tuesday so far, but Coast Life can make it even better if you tune in and join us at 4 o'clock. You're going to be seeing some behind the scenes and some setup. We're going to chat with the folks behind Lego Fest, which is going to be really fun and really exciting. And every week we've been introducing you to the dish of the week from our friends at Benvenuto. Don't forget, you can get that 10% discount off your meal at Benvenuto. We'll tell you how today at 4 when we get through all of that fun and more on Coast Life. We'll see you then.
Beautiful start to the day. Lewis, Irish Ice Cam, blue sky, 73 degrees. It's pleasant out there. We've got mid-60s inland, and we're looking at temperatures a little bit below average the next few days and comfortable humidity levels for a couple of days. And then heat and humidity are back big time by the end of the week. And for the weekend, some showers and storms. Unfortunately, not the best timing on that. I'll have your forecast details in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
It is 6:47 and we are going to take a live look outside at Lewis on this Tuesday morning. And Bob, it looks like a beautiful morning out there right on the water in Lewis.
Very nice.
Definitely a good day to get outside, less humidity. That's
I
always
think
a good
so.
thing.
Yeah. Now's the time to get out there. We have that break, Elisa, from the summer swelter. I think it only lasts 2 or 3 days, and then it's back by the end of the week. But the next couple of days, lower humidity, not perfect, but definitely more comfortable than it has been with highs in the low to mid 80s. Lows at night in the 60s, and then late week, it gets hot again, higher humidity. We're going to be seeing highs in the 80s and 90s, and feels like temperatures close to 100 by Friday. But let's enjoy the little break while it's here. 69 in Georgetown right now. 67 in Millsboro, Harrington 61. If you're going to the fair, good looking day there. 73 in Ocean City and Bethany Beach, and Lewis at 73. Dew point temperatures much lower than they have been. Of course, they were in the 70s for the longest time. Now they're into the 60s, so a little more comfortable as we're looking at a northeast breeze along the coast and calm conditions inland right now. And we're looking at mainly clear skies. There is one little fly in the ointment. We're seeing a few showers offshore. There's a little disturbance here. And some of these showers might try to sneak into the coast a little bit later this afternoon. You can see more of these showers offshore now, south and east of Long Island. A little disturbance here, so keep that in mind, but just a slight chance of a shower this afternoon. Otherwise, it's high pressure across the Great Lakes, keeping us mainly high and dry, keeping the humidity away and keeping the storms away too. We have some storms off of the coast of North Carolina and then back into the Midwest. So some quiet weather definitely for the next couple of days. As we're looking at that lower humidity, areas well inland could see dew points in the 50s. Otherwise, we're looking at 60s. So still more comfortable than it has been as we go through the next couple of days, and not bad for late July. Here's Futurecast this morning. We're in the 70s, clear skies and comfortable conditions, low 80s by 10 a.m. A bit of a northeast breeze at the coast today and inland as well by noon. We're in the low to mid 80s with 70s and 80s at the beaches. And once again, that outside chance of an isolated shower later this afternoon. Otherwise, low to mid 80s inland, 70s and 80s at the coast. And this evening, if you're out and about, I think we're 70s from Fenwick Island to Dewey Beach, upper 70s there, lower 80s inland. And then through the overnight, mostly clear skies. It looks like another comfortable start Wednesday morning with mid to upper 60s away from the coast with 70s at the beaches and a little bit of moisture lurking offshore. Could push in a slight chance of a shower as we go into Wednesday afternoon. Otherwise, temperatures once again, I think, into the 80s. As the flows start to turn in out of the southeast, it starts getting a little muggier as we go into late Wednesday. And here's the muggy meter. We're looking at humid conditions the next few days. So not horrible, but not perfect. And we're looking at very humid to miserable conditions as we go into the upcoming weekend. As we're looking at hot conditions by Friday as the flow turns in out of the southwest. But then Saturday, much of the day is dry, but I think we are looking at evening storms. I think there will be a front that sets up across Delmarva, and that keeps that threat for storms going even into Sunday, and some of that rain could be heavy. But ahead of that, we're looking at feels like temperatures as high as 100 inland areas. 85 in Harrington today, 81 in Rehoboth. Cambridge and Vienna, 85 degrees with a northeast breeze. Pocomoke City, 85. Chincoteague, 84 for you. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast. Couple of comfortable mornings on the way into the mid to upper 60s for lows. And then temperatures climbing through the week. By Friday, 94. And then the storms arrive later Saturday, 93. More widespread storms on Sunday, 89. And a few lingering showers Monday and a high of 88.
Thank you, Bob. Happening across Delmarva, Delta has officially kicked off Phase 2 of the East Camden Bypass Project in Kent County. According to the agency, this phase involves constructing the section of a new 5-arm roundabout that will connect Willow Grove Road with Rising Sun Road. While delays are expected, DelDOT officials say the work is a step forward towards safer streets and reduced congestion.
It's going to greatly improve safety in that area, but also reduce congestion, not only on SR 10, but throughout the town of Camden as well. And then we'll see an improvement in traffic operations.
In addition to the road work, DelDOT tells CoastTV that crews are upgrading sewer infrastructure as a part of a $38.5 million bypass project. And the time is now 6:51, so we are going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
Today's coastal pet of the day, spending some time with his grandparents during summer vacation. Let's check out Jax right there on your screen. Jax is diabetic, needs some special care, but his treat after getting insulin was carrots. The strong boy was submitted to us by Scott and Monica in Long Neck.
We want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
Scan the QR code, top center there, get your friends to us, and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
It is 6:54, and here are the things you need to know before you go. Happening today in Ocean City, a special election for a controversial rental rule. Earlier this year, the town council passed some strict rules on certain rentals in areas of residential parts of town. The ordinance requires a 5-night minimum stay for 2025 and 2026, with that minimum becoming 31 days in 2027. But a petition opposing this ordinance successfully gathered more than 1,000 signatures, triggering a special election to potentially override that ordinance.
Delaware State Police say they have arrested the third person that was involved in a shooting near the Slaughter Beach Fire Company. It's the area that was right here on your screen, is where Delaware State Police say a party was going on at the pavilion behind the fire company on June 12th. And according to state police, the 3 suspects opened fire on the attendees. That was around 7 p.m. A 32-year-old Dover man was shot. He was later released from the hospital. And all suspects now arrested and face charges including assault and reckless endangering.
It is 6:56, so we are going to take another look at your Tuesday forecast before you head out the door.
Yeah, we're working on a real nice day today, Bob.
Oh boy, I tell you, it's always nice to get a break from the summer heat at the end of July, even if it is for a couple of days. We do get that break for sure. Here's your day part forecast, looking at mostly sunny skies today. As I mentioned earlier, an outside chance of a shower at the coast. Otherwise, pretty nice. Temperatures into the mid-80s inland, 70s at the beaches. Paul Davis 10-day forecast, 83 the high away from the coast today, and a couple of more comfortable mornings into the mid-60s. Wednesday 84, Thursday 88, and temperatures creep up, and so does the humidity. By Friday 94, but with the humidity feeling like 100, and not the best timing, but it looks like rain chances into the weekend, probably later Saturday. Some storms, 93, a little cooler Sunday with more widespread storms. Unfortunately, some of those showers linger into Monday, and then we head towards the end of July. We're going to start to cool things off, not Tuesday, 91, but then we end the month, I think, with pretty normal conditions, partly cloudy Thursday and a high of 87.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News Today.
And the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
Then we'll be back for Coast TV News midday at 11.
And for even more news and coverage you can count on, just grab your phone here, go to your app store, download your Coast TV News and weather apps, keep track of everything. Till we see you for Coast TV News midday, have a great Tuesday morning, everybody.